How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I am the FIFA Analyst, and today I'm going to be giving you another FIFA 20 coaching session for you. You guys absolutely love looking at these, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. We do take a look at the gentleman that we are coaching today. We have a look at his custom tactics, give him some advice on there, and then obviously the normal coaching with inside the game as well. If you do enjoy the video, please let me know by giving it a like, and you can also subscribe to the channel. Do upload every single day at 5 PM. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Enough of me talking now, though. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's have a look. You're going to send me your custom tactics here, which is brilliant. Not many people tend to do it. Yeah, so you play 4-1-2-1-2, don't you? Yeah, okay. Custom tactics then. I would probably drop this down. You've currently got your width sat at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd probably drop that down to about 4. And in terms of the defensive and probably for the attacking as well. If you're playing 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, which is a narrow, you want these to be a little bit narrower on that front. I'll probably drop the depth down by 1 as well, and I'll take that over to 3 if I'm honest with you. Players in box is fine. Let's have a look at your player instructions as well. So getting behind on one striker, getting behind on the other, that's fine. I would personally switch these two round, Mane and Salah. I would put Salah on the left-hand side and Mane on the right-hand side, just because cutting back on the finesse isn't as strong this year. So I actually think you're better off having the players on their stronger foot, because obviously you don't really look for the cutback finesse too much. I'm happy with the kind of stuff there. Get into the box for cross. So what attacking, cover centre, that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I probably would recommend, though, you had your fullbacks on balanced. Although I do preach balanced a lot, for 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I would probably move that back to stay back while attacking. 4-1-2-1-2 narrow is very, very attacking. I would take off free roam. I'd keep that on balanced. Personally, I don't like free roam across these. You want these players to be exactly where they are on that pitch. When you have them on free roam, what can happen is, let's say Medel moves over to there and Mane's over there, and then you've got a massive gap here. I actually think having all these on balance there is better. I wouldn't have them on stay forward either. Again, I'd have them on balanced and get into the box for cross, and then you can have your fullbacks on balance there. Cut passing lanes, and you have one of them. Okay, yeah, that's fine. There's no issues on that front. Custom tactics team right there. 4-2-2. Let's see what you run with that. Come back on defense. This might be your more kind of seeing out the game, which is fine. Yeah, that's your more seeing out of the game, because you got your start while attacking, and then you use 4-3-3 for your full on see out the game, which is fine. Again, I've got no issues with that. But let's go and jump into the game anyway. All the custom tactics there. Make those couple of little changes if you want to. See how you get on with them. But let's go and jump into it and see how we get on. A lot of people don't tend to use that as much. However, you get into this situation. We've just panicked there so much. You've got acres to run into there. Although, yes, the keeper is coming out. You can take another touch there. I would take another touch. You'd get to about there with Young, and then I'd smash that in at the post. You don't need to finesse that. You can just power that as you did. But you've rushed that chance, which has just meant that you've had a killer chance first couple of minutes. And we've rushed it. I don't know if that's just, you know, lack of composure or whatever. If you really wanted to be picky about it, you can carry on coming forward and ball roll the keeper upwards. But to be honest, one extra touch. What happens is people get tunnel visioned when they see this goal and they don't think about what they can do. You've got time there. I mean, it's Bobby Moore was chasing you. You've got time to take a touch there and have a shot off. So, but nice to see that you've started off the game strongly. So one thing that I want us to be cautious of in situations like this is winning the ball back and trying to rush out too much. So you follow the tracker down on the left-hand side with Tellus. You stand up tall with Quadrado. You do step in and win the ball back. You can carry on running here and then play the ball back to the goalkeeper. So be a little bit more composed with that. But all right, we've given it away once. However, I don't like this. Again, you're playing a very risky pass on Quadrado's weak foot into an area where it's a little bit dangerous. You give the ball away there. This could be capitalised on, and they could be going, okay, so he doesn't capitalise on it. Does he not? Does he? Does he not? Does he? Okay, so you redeemed yourself, but do you know what I mean? That could take you down to 1-0. So just be a little bit more cautious when it comes to playing those balls across. Okay, so you actually, you kind of do what I want you to do here, but you do it a little bit too wrong. So let's just watch this in full time. Gets a bit unlucky with Longley. You get the ball back. What do you think went wrong here? So you probably obviously watched some of these coaching videos, and you do exactly what I want you to do. You see that the guy is going to look for the 1-2. 1, 2. That's what you're always going to look for, right? So you pull the Diego Carlos back. However, the little animation that you do with the Diego Carlos is you trap back, and then you decide to go on a little bit of a run. which then obviously gives him that little bit of space to find that little pass in with Aguero. So just be a little bit more cautious with that. I think that was just being a bit too aggressive on the left stick there. You didn't need to, try and chat back up as you did. You just needed to carry on essentially holding your ground where you were. You work the ball down on this left-hand side with Mendy, and you do really well in terms of the drag back. So I know that you've got a drag back in your locker, which I like, and then you pull the ball to Mane. Now, normally near post is kind of where you want to go to here. However, you've got the centre back kind of standing there, so I understand why you've gone for that far post. He does manage to, I think, take a save. I mean, I was going to look at that and say, should you have finessed it? But I'm not really too sure if you should have. I mean, what I'd probably try and do myself if you really wanted to be composed here is I would ball roll upwards. So the right analog stick, right stick, upwards for half a second, beat that defender, and then I'd smash it in at the near post just for that extra bit of composure. But it's a good save for Maddison. Unlucky from your point, but that's now a very good chance that we've had. That's 2 clear-cut chances in this game, I'd say. So obviously you did say that you feel like you suffer with sloppy passes. So one of the things you've got to take into account when you are playing 4-1-2-1-2, what you're always going to have is this area of the pitch is where your passes are mainly going to be. A lot of the times, these sort of players are always going to be marked, so it does make it a little bit difficult. You do play a very silly pass. The way you can get out of playing these silly passes, Paul, is by taking a look at the opponent's cursor. If the opponent's cursor is, if he's controlling a player that is in between the player that you want to pass to, so this man here is in between that man and that man, these sort of passes are no longer on. So what I'd like you to do is, I've seen you do the drag back. You've got plenty of time here to drag back up into this space and try and work your way up in there. Just try and be a little bit more cautious with it. Keep an eye on that opponent's cursor in future. So you do win the ball back straight from this. You then play the pass into De Jong, and you kind of wait in. You have a nice little bit of dribbling, which I like. Good stuff. I'm only assuming you've tried to pass that there. I'd like to think you've done what I call fat fingers, where you've on the analog stick, you'll think you're aiming there, but you might have fat fingers, which is what I call. I'm not saying you have got fat fingers, but I do it myself. And then what's happened is it's registered as more there, and obviously tries to play the pass. Now, you've made an initial mistake. This man needs to track this Aguero run, and this man tracks the Vardy run. However, you decide to try and really, really commit. So that's like an over panic from you making a mistake there, which then obviously means he comes through. You do time the keeper coming out very well. I don't know what the guy's done there. He's completely messed up that chance. Does he capitalise on it? No. So you do come back. But you know what I mean? You can't be given that. So just make sure these sort of passes that you're playing are going where you want them to. So you develop a really good chance here. I like how you use these fullbacks, to be honest. That little pass in with Mane was beautiful. I hear, just because obviously Mendy's touch is a little bit bad and Salah then kind of runs offside in a sense, I would take another touch, and then what I'd do is I'd get to here and then I'd play an R1, an X pass. And what that is a low driven along the ground, and Salah should be able to tap that in. It then means that the centre-backs won't be able to interfere. But because you tried to play that normal pass, I mean, he's already going offside anyway. I don't know if it does get called offside or not. We'll see in a second. But they've closed that gap down. Take that extra touch, R1X. I think you find Salah there, and you probably get the ball in the back of the net. That normal pass is the reason why the defenders made that ground up and pulled the ball back. Now, Paul, there is certain situations in FIFA where I actually feel like there's not something you can do. Aguero outstrengthens Medel there. Medel then does that stupid shirt tug animation. You haven't actually inputted a command here, so I can't say anything about that. You then actually defend with your centre-back fairly well. Wait for the video to catch up. Bear with it. If it would like to, that'd be fantastic. Okay, just skip it completely. Why doesn't it? Let's go back to it then. So, watch with your centre-back here. You actually you've covered this passing lane, and you do step up ever so slightly. You've still covered it. You see him come through, and it nutmegs him. We'll go back and watch that again just because the video... Sorry, when we download the videos from YouTube, sometimes they just get a little bit funny at certain situations when I slow it down. So you do actually cover the pass back into the Aguero. You put yourself in between that player. I feel like you're very unfortunate there that that's gone through. I can't really say too much about that goal for you because I feel like that shouldn't probably go through the player. It's not really a pass that the guy should be playing. So just more unfortunate for you there, man. I know obviously you've said about, your playing conditions that, you play maybe in the living room or, that sort of thing. However, I don't think there is any excuse for these sort of passes here. Like playing that pass first time into Medal when he's got 2 players around him already. Just have a little bit more of a think about these passes logically. I know obviously you might be a bit of a different environment, but you can still think that that's where we've got to go. Just try and keep the ball, especially when we've got 1-0 down. You need to make sure that you're treating this ball a little bit more precious and not giving it away as cheaply. So here I actually think you overshoot a little bit, which doesn't cost you, but one thing to take into account. So what do I mean by overshoot? So you're trying to obviously cover this 1-2 pass, and then you're trying to cover that pass in again. He does a little fake shot, and you go this way. In the box, I'd find it's best to kind of tap R2 along with L2, the jockey. You can here it looks like you hold R2 all the way, which then means that he overshoots massively, which gives him the room to find it off, and then obviously Longley bails you out with the block. So yeah, I don't know if you've watched my how to defend inside the box video. That will explain that in a little bit more detail for you. So one of the things that I want you to do, if you're adamant about playing this 4-1-2-1-2 formation, which you can do, it is a strong formation when it's played well, is I do need you to be a little bit more cautious with these passes. There's too many times where we're giving the ball away in kind of silly areas, where especially when you're playing 4-1-2-1-2, when you give the ball away, you're very much open to the counter-attack. So there's a few areas where I'm happy for you to give the ball away. Here, again, playing the pass directly into a player that's covered on the passing lane. What can you do around that? The defending there with Longley was fine. You play the pass into the middle, and then you play it into Suarez. So here, at the minute, you should be seeing that this sort of pass isn't back on. Come back down to there, run forward with Medel, then Suarez moves to there. Not Suarez, Salah moves to there, and then Salah will be there, ready for that pass. Sometimes you have to use that extra man in the 4-1-2-1-2, but because you play that pass, that leaves you open for the counter. He's now broken through Fabinho. Because you're playing 4-1-2-1-2, you've got 2 outer CMs, and then your cam there. You've got 1 CDM. This guy's playing 4-4-2, trying to mark 2 strikers, which means if he has the ball here, say with a player there, he can pass to there or to there, and you can't cover both passes with Fabinho. So you really, really need to make sure that you're not giving the ball away inside that area. If you are going to give the ball away, because the 4-1-2-1-2 is very attacking, and it's a very good formation, I'm happy if you try and play a pass in this area here. You try and play a killer pass into the striker or something, and you give the ball away there. That's a little bit more understandable. But we need to make sure we stop doing it inside your own half. So you do get a corner here. You have brought Royce on, so you've obviously changed like a 4-2-3-1. This chance of Fabinho, you've gone to the far post now twice. I'd smash this in at the near post. Obviously that it falls to Fabinho is a little bit unfortunate. But near post is king. Near post is king. So definitely go for near post there. So this is what I mean. Possession-wise, I'm not too fussed about what possession you kind of have in the 4-1-2-1-2 because it's such an attacking formation. You don't need to hold the ball to have the possession. However, this is a stat that I need you to increase on. 82% pass accuracy is not good enough. I tell everyone it has to be at a minimum of 90%. The more you make better passes, the more chances you are going to create just from that as well. You have brought Royce on. I don't know. So if this was me, I would be bringing Royce on to change to 4-2-3-1. You haven't. You've stuck with 4-1-2-1-2. As I've already explained about how the 4-1-2-1-2 can be a little bit countered by something like the 4-4-2 because of the 2 strikers. Just bear that in mind kind of when you're coming up against 4-4-2 if you're going to block 4-1-2-1-2. You create a brilliant chance here with Suarez. You come through. You try and look for that sweat. You're a little bit unfortunate, actually. Right, it depends how much you want to learn here and how much you want to really, really start to take the game to the next level. So, that obviously is most people's options. I feel like 90% of FIFA players will go for that. You've not got a defender next to you here. If you want to be composed, Paul, the best thing for you to do is to ball roll up this way. Again, half a second, right stick, up that way. Because the keeper, if you literally do it now, the keeper won't tackle you. They always drop down to the ground. They never win the ball. And then it means you've got a simple open goal. You try and play a pass, as I said, which I don't necessarily think is wrong. I'm just thinking about percentages. I think the ball roll, as long as you execute the ball roll right, that's an open goal. It's 100% going in. While as that little pass, like you've just seen, is very much a 70% of the times that will work, 30% of times that won't work. And unfortunately, that was one of the times that it won't work. Another little silly pass here then with De Jong trying to look into getting to Salah, I believe it is. So we have a look. What do you think's wrong with this pass? So I only say, so you try to play a triangle pass here, and the way we know that you played a triangle pass is that the ball's going into this trajectory. It's not going directly into Salah's feet. If you're trying to play a triangle pass here, the only time you play that as a through ball, if let's say Salah, who is there, instead of him being there, is there. Yeah? So Salah is in this circle there. And the reason for that is he's on the back line of the defence then. He will then be able to make up that ground. At the minute, he's going to make up 2 or 3 yards before he even gets close to the ball. That pass will never work. So you've got to make sure that if you're going to play a through ball, the man that you want to play a through ball to is already on the back line. Tell me you finish it. Good man, good man. All right, good finish anyway. Obviously, the guy gives you the ball back, a bit of a good lucky chance. And I like the celebration that you use. Good finish with De Jong, though. And you see how you scored that one? Going near post. You didn't try and go far post, so well done. So one of the things that you actually do really well, which I want you to keep up, is that you use the L1 passes quite well in the middle of the park. L1, boom, send him, nice. Here, right, you take the shot with Suarez. I personally think it's not a bad option. However, what I'd probably like to see is a little bit of composure. I'd probably lay that pass off to De Jong here. But I don't think you're too wrong for taking the shot in a sense. I mean, maybe there, if you are going to shoot there, the better chance there was going for the far post. I know it sounds like we're contradicting ourselves, but the near post, that sort of angle, it's not really on. So you actually do exactly what I asked you to do here. I mean, you couldn't do this any better. I don't know why we haven't done it in those other situations. You ball well the keeper. I know you've got it in your locker. Lovely little finish. Lovely little finish. If you would have done that in the other situation where you tried to sweat it, maybe in the situation with the first chance that you had in the game with De Jong, you might have been 4 goals up here. So, but good finish anyway. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to be honest. Obviously, we had quite a few chances in that game. One of the things that you obviously put in your session notes, which I can't really discuss with you too much, was about the player switching. And the reason for that is because this guy, all due respect to him, wasn't the greatest of player, which means that he gave the ball away so much you never really needed to test your player switching. He had 78% pass accuracy, you had 82%. I know you've said that you normally get it between 85 and 90, so I'd hope to see that does stay up there, obviously, for future ones. But against this sort of guy, you had to get a control on the game. I don't mind that you play 4-1-2-1-2. Obviously, you can play formation that you want, but you still need to make sure you're being a bit more conservative with the ball. You're not keeping an eye on the opponent's cursor, which seems to be one of the main things. When it comes to composure inside the box with the chances that we had, I feel like we were lacking a little bit there. So I just need us to be a little bit more composed on that sort of areas. The ball roll would have been key. For a lot of the times this year, to be honest with you, near post is the way to go forward for shooting, all right? So I'd like to see that a little bit more often as well. There were situations where you could have gone for the near post instead. You're defending, the principles are there. Sometimes we're a little bit heavy on the sticks, but the principles were there. It seems like you have been watching, say, my videos, watching other people, and you kind of get an understanding of it because you do defend fairly well in terms of the jockeying that you use, all that sort of thing. But you do just need to be a lot stronger when it comes to going forward. If you are going to play 4-1-2-1-2, I would probably recommend changing your fullbacks to stay back while attacking. Any other formation, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, you can have them on balance, but I feel like 4-1-2-1-2, it's so attacking as it is anyway. Having your fullbacks on balance is a little bit lethal. So I hope that covers that in terms of the custom tactics as well. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. I'm always happy to answer them for you. Hopefully we can start getting you into the gold. I feel like if you just be a little bit better with your passing and actually your shot conversion of going for the near post and being a little bit more composed, using the ball well like you did in that example to go 2-1 up, you will definitely get a few more wins from it. Hope you did enjoy. Any questions, please do send them over.